today. Welcome back to my channel. We'll have a new recipe I'm going to try today. I hope you enjoy the recipe. It's another bread recipe. This one is experimental because I've never made it before and it's something unique, so I thought I would give it a try. Let's get started, and I'm going to have a lot of ingredients to get out. As I'm getting my ingredients ready, I just want to show you the packaging because I'm about to pour one of them out into a bowl. But this I bought about a year ago, and I've been storing it in the freezer. This is desiccated unsweetened, which I've never used before, and this is what I'm used to using. This is Angel Flakes sweetened coconut that you bake with, so I'm going to be using that. I'm going to use both. So I just wanted to show you the packaging because I'm going to pour the desiccated coconut into this bowl so I can measure it out because I'm going to be using it more than once. Plus I want it to get to room temperature, but there it is. It's real pretty. But I like, you know, sweet stuff too. But I'm going to use some vanilla extract, coconut extract, and I also thought about rum extract. Oh, I'm also going to be using this one. This is fresh coconut. These are unsweetened. I don't know if I have enough, but I'm going to make it enough. But I bought this from Kroger, and they're so pretty. I can't wait to use those. Coconut oil. This has a bunch of different kinds of coconut. Coconut milk, coconut oil, coconut extract. I'm going to use 3 different kinds of coconut. So they're going to be coconutty. So anyway, let me finish measuring and I'll get back to you. I don't know if I showed you this. This is the coconut milk I'm using. This is unsweetened. Now, I'll also have some coconut cream, but I'm going to stick with the recipe the first time I make this. Pretty much, I'm going to stick with it. Like I said, I'm going to add my vanilla, and then it already calls for a little sugar, but I heated the coconut milk up, and it's too hot, so I'm letting it cool down a little. 4 cups of flour, or 500 grams, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And to this, I'm going to add, this is not in the recipe, this is just something I like to add. This is totally optional. This is the, I forgot what it's called again. It's dry malt diastatic powder. It just helps your bread rise a little bit and brown a little bit. And I only add about a teaspoon every time I bake something. So this container is going to last me a long time. But it came in a bag. I store it in this drawer to keep it. And I always like to add a little bit of Vital Wheat gluten. I find it makes the bread last a little bit longer. And I only add a couple teaspoons of that too. But like I said, you don't even have to add that if you don't want to. Or if you don't have it, it's no big deal. And I'm going to put, move you over, let's mix this up. And we're not going to put all the flour in at one time. We're going to hold a little bit back. Because it's wet and humid here today, so I'm not sure what my dough's going to be like. And I also always preheat my oven to about 125 to make my bread rise faster, because I'm just impatient.
I think this is... Okay, I heated that up to about 100 degrees. Kind of thick. I'm going to add, my stuff's all over the place, 2 tablespoons of unrefined coconut oil melted. I'm going to add that. Oh, let me add the sugar. 1/3 cup of sugar. Just using regular sugar. And now I'm going to add my yeast. It calls for 1 packet. I'm going to put about 2.5, closer to 3 teaspoons. I found that it works well for me. So let's get the whisk and kind of whisk this together. We're going to also whisk in this egg. 1 egg. I'm going to throw in my extracts. Sorry, I'm trying to not get this all over my counter. I'm OCD like that. Okay, vanilla. And this is, I don't have pure coconut extract, this is all I can find, but I do like the brand Watkins, it's a pretty good brand. And let's just put a capful of this, which is probably close to a teaspoon. So we got the yeast. I think I'm going to just start adding my flour a little bit at a time. This is all-purpose flour with the other things I added to it. And now I'm going to add in, this is a 1/2 cup of, it's the desiccated coconut and the sweetened coconut, and I had to break it up because it was frozen. But it calls for unsweetened coconut flakes, but I only have so many, I want to use those for the top to decorate. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that, about 1/2 cup. Found my dough hook. I love trying new bread recipes. I think I'm going to put a little bit more flour in there. And because my mixer's loud, I'll mix this up and then show you what it looks like. It looks pretty good. It's still pretty sticky. So we're going to add some more flour. And we're going to have to scrape the, sometimes you have to scrape the bowl. Sometimes I just wait and let it pick it up by itself. So I'm going to keep out about, I think this is about a half of a cup. I'm going to save that. So I'm going to let this come together and I'll show you what it looks like. And then we're going to, I like it to stick to the bottom a little bit, but that's a little bit too much. So I'm going to add a little bit more, and I have the worst container to try to get this out. This is about 1/8 of a cup. Actually, I'm going to add it all. That's 4 cups. I think it's going to be fine. And I measured it very carefully. All the ingredients, actually. But you should always hold back your flour because it's way easier to add flour than it is to add liquids to your dough. Okay, let's see. Let me mix this, I'll bring you back.
This is what it looks like now. We can see that. It's sticky, but it's not really sticking to me. I may have to add like 1 more tablespoon of flour, but it seems pretty good. So I'm gonna just let this knead for about 7 minutes on about speed 2. I don't like to go higher than 2 or 3, but I may add 1 more tablespoon of flour, but I'll let you know. I wanted to show you, it's about halfway done, and it's still pretty sticky at the bottom, but I'm gonna leave it like this because I think it's a good texture. It's a tiny bit sticky, but we're gonna go ahead and leave it. I have a couple more minutes to go, and I'll be back. It's look how stretchy it is. So we're just gonna pull it out, and this is my glass bowl, and since it's coconut, I just rubbed it with coconut oil. I don't use coconut oil all the time, and you could probably maybe add a little bit more flour. It just depends on how you like your dough to be. It's really heavy. I'm just gonna drop it. Try to get the rest out of the bottom. That's the only bad thing about the sticky dough. I'm just gonna take it so you can see. And all you have to do is let that bowl sit and let some hot water sit and soak and sit in that bowl. And I just rub the dough off with my hand so I don't get it in the sponge, and it comes right off. I'm just gonna kind of put this into a ball like this. Now it's coated all the way around, so we're gonna cover it. Now these may take an hour to an hour and a half, but like I said, I did cheat and turn my oven on just a little bit. But I could leave them, if I wasn't in a hurry, I could leave them and let them sit out because it's about 75 degrees in my kitchen, which the book says that's the perfect temperature. And another tip, if you want to, I'll tell you when you roll them out and then you make the rolls, you can also refrigerate them overnight. And they said it's a very good flavor, but I don't do that too much. Anyway, let's put these in the oven and then we'll let them rise, and I'll tell you how long it's we're going to make our filling. But I'm letting my 1 cup of butter get to room temperature. You could put this in the microwave for a second, but I'm not in a hurry, so I'm going to let it sit out just a little while. But we're going to need that and confectioner's sugar. It's kind of like a coconut buttercream in the center, so I don't know if I'm going to change that up or not, but it's got brown sugar in it, so to me, anything with brown sugar in it's going to be good. So I'll be back when my butter gets to room temperature. I want to say that this book is from, sorry, I have to put my glasses on. This is from March, April of 2017. But I saw in the, I think it was at the Kroger, that they had the new magazine for this month, or I think they do it quarterly or bi-monthly. And it has a savory bread on the cover, and this recipe is actually in that book. But I didn't buy that book because I already had some of the recipes in it. And some of them, like I said, I want to try some of them, I don't. They have information in here about bloggers and restaurants and just different things. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you about this magazine, and it's about $13 a pop. So I don't buy them often, only when I see something that really intrigues me. I'm gonna open my oven so you can see. There's the timer. I have 23 minutes left. I put it in the oven. Oh, sorry about that noise, but there's a close-up of what it looks like. My oven's quite warm, but I'm going to let it go for 20 more minutes because I still have to make the filling. I just wanted to show you what it looks like, and let's check the butter. Stick your finger in it. I might have to put that in the microwave for a second, I think. But anyway, I was watching some videos, so now I need to make the filling. So let's get started. We're going to start making the filling. My butter, I know this is kind of gross, but that's when you know you don't want it too soft. In my opinion, you want it about 65 degrees. You want a tiny bit of firmness. It makes it fluffier. Just kind of, this butter is going to be so good, I think. I have another butter I'm saving for croissants. I'm definitely going to make that soon, but I need space in my refrigerator because you do have to refrigerate those overnight or for 6 hours. We're going to put a 1/2 cup of tightly packed light brown sugar. I actually probably should have mixed my butter first. I'm going to add a pinch of salt. It doesn't say that. I'm only going to add a pinch all over my counter too. And the butter's salted too, so that's probably plenty of salt. And so we're just going to kind of play with this and see what we come up with. But I'm going to mix this, get that butter kind of fluffy. And then I'll do that mixture. Now we're supposed to add, let's go ahead and add our, you can add the extracts in one or the other. I overdo it, so I add it in both things. But you can just put it in one. And if I put the recipe underneath in the description, I'll just follow their instructions. And you can add it extra if you would like to. I'm going to add a little coconut extract too. About a teaspoon. And I was, I'm trying to follow the recipe the first time, but I also have some coconut cream that I'm just thinking, I've never used it before, and I think that it would be really good in here, but I might use it for the icing. Anyway, so let's mix this up. Okay, and we're going to scrape the bowl probably a few times. The butter's nice and fluffy, and it's still a little bit firm, but oh, and my paddle just came off. I'm not doing something right sometimes. This is not the first time that's happened. Sorry about that. So I'm going to add the powdered sugar, and I don't sift it. It says 3 cups, so I'm just going to add 3 cups. And if it's too thick for me, we're also going to add a cup of the coconut. Now, it's up to you what kind of coconut you add. Now, I was supposed to toast it. I didn't because my bread's rising in the oven, so I didn't want to mess with my oven. But I'm going to add a cup of the mixture that I used in the dough. I'm going to add a little bit of the sweetened coconut and a little bit of the unsweetened. And it's not toasted, but you certainly can toast it. But I'm going to mix this in first and see how thick it is. Because you want it to be pretty thick. This is a filling. I feel so lost not adding cinnamon. And I have a little bit of that coconut milk left over too if I need a little liquid. It looks, yeah, that's pretty dry. Just want to whip it up good. Okay, let's check it out. It's nice and fluffy. It will be good to spread. And so let's add some coconut. I'm going to add, you want a cup total. So I'm going to add about half and half. And my top coconut's going to be toasted, so I'm not measuring. I'm just, like a handful of each. And then, I'll measure this one. It's going to be like just half a cup of this. I've never used this coconut. I'm kind of excited to use all these different kinds. I actually bought the cream of coconut for a coconut cake I was going to make for Easter. But we had a family tragedy and I didn't get to. So I'll use it in. Let's turn it up. Mix it up. And you can use your hand mixer for this too. You probably even mix it by hand. So that looks good, I guess. Should I taste it? I don't know. It tastes good, and I can definitely taste the coconut. It's very sweet, but it tastes nice. So we'll just go with this and see how it comes out. I think it's gonna be good. So let me get my area ready to prepare to roll out the dough. Just wanted to show you. I'm gonna use a 13 by 9 pan that I just sprayed with the Baker's Joy, and I always like to put it on my baking sheet just in case, you know, something bubbles over, because believe me, when it bubbles over in your oven and then you turn it on the next time and then there's smoke everywhere, it's like not fun. So anyway, I always like to do that. But let me pull out the dough. It looks wonderful. Might have let it go too long. My oven's still a nice temperature. I always run into the trouble of, I know this doesn't make any sense probably, but you know, when you preheat your oven and you have your dough rising at the same time, I do that at the same time. I don't take my dough out of the oven while it's preheating. I just let it preheat and keep rising while it's in there. So I might have to get some flour. I got my flour out. Let's take a little, I need a bigger kitchen. I got my mat taped so it won't roll everywhere. It's a little warm. Feels really nice though. I don't think I'm gonna need much flour. Like I said, it's sticky, but it's not sticking to me too much. So we don't add too much flour. Just a little bit, you know. Just a little. My mat got kind of warped a little bit. So I'm just gonna kind of get the air out of this. I always like to do this and make it into another ball. And what I actually do is let it rest again for about 10 minutes, and I cover it so it can be ready to roll out, and it'll roll out easily because it'll be ready to go. Here's a step that I almost forgot to tell you about. We're going to reserve a half cup of this filling to make our glaze with after they're baked. So we're going to put this to the side and just let that wait until we make our I guess you call it an icing or a drizzle. I think it's a drizzle.
Okay, we're gonna start rolling this out. Let me get something to spread the filling with. I'm just gonna kind of press it out a little bit first. I might need a little bit more flour. Feels like a nice dough. I'll flip it over. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get a little bit more flour. And I put it up, and I knew better. I was trying to make more room. I'm gonna try to make this into a rectangle shape. Just a pinch. There we go. Okay, let's just try to roll this out. We're going to try to roll it out to 18 by 12, and I'm not very good at rolling it out, but it comes out usually just fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. I have to move the camera over, sorry. Just want it to be even. And it's even thickness, you want even thickness as you can. Sometimes I really don't even measure. I just roll it out to a rectangle. Okay, let's see where we are. Hope you can see that. Okay. My cabinet hits right up against the tripod in the phone. So that's 12, that's good. And that is 19, that's good enough. Now it's a little crooked, but that's okay. So now we're just going to spread the filling and leave a half-inch border. So I'm just going to take this and just spread it. I'm not sure if we're going to use all of it. I'm anxious to see how this comes out. I'm very excited. I love trying new dough recipes, bread recipes. I'm practicing on sub rolls or hoagie rolls. I'm having trouble getting the right shape. I can bake them, and they come out okay. The taste is okay, but the shape I'm working on. And I really need to make some today because I made those spaghetti and meatballs last night. I was going to make sandwiches out of the meatballs today. Feels like Sunday to me, but it's Saturday today. I'm just spreading it. I'm not going quite far enough on the edge. It's pretty thick, this filling, and I'm excited about this butter. I love to try those European butters. I only use them for special recipes or special occasions. My favorite is still the Land O'Lakes butter. I just find it's really good, and it's a little bit higher than your like Walmart butters, but I like it the best. So I do splurge on butter. Okay, that looks like it's getting pretty even. So thick. I was thinking about making a different. The topping is going to be the filling, so I was thinking about making something totally different. But we'll see how they come out, what the taste is like. We might not want too much icing because they might be really sweet on their own. Okay, that looks pretty even and thick. Okay, I think that's pretty close to a 1/2 inch. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm trying to hurry. But sometimes this takes time. So we're going to just, roll it up like you do cinnamon rolls. Now I'm going to start with the long end. And it's probably going to get a little messy. And I'm going to get my pan over here. Because we have to let them rise again. And after you make the rolls, you can't put them in the refrigerator overnight. It does make the dough taste a little bit better. It takes longer to ferment. And it gets a little bit more flavor. I've done that before with cinnamon rolls. Another bread I want to practice is brioche. And I know you have to let that ferment in the refrigerator also. Yeah, my dough is really uneven. So I'm going to cut the ends off. So let's roll it a little bit more. And I'm going to stretch it over. Yeah, it's kind of uneven, but that's okay. I always do this. It never comes out perfectly. Like I see other people making theirs. You want it to kind of be even. You want it sealed. So let me get my cutter. I'm just going to cut the ends off. So, yeah, I want it to be even thickness. So I'm just going to cut these. Try to cut them into 12, but I just cut them in half and then half again. Let's see. That's a little uneven. This one's a little thicker. Just cut these into 3. And they're really soft, so you have to be careful. You're going to put them cut side up. Yeah, some of mine are thicker than others. I feel like they need more color. See, I don't know if I mess these up. It's my first time, so that filling is really soft. No, you can talk about chocolate. Coconut and chocolate goes well together. Sometimes I just see an ingredient like I saw that coconut and I was like, oh, I knew about these coconut buns. I've been having that magazine for a year, and I haven't tried them yet. They're not really the prettiest, but I lost some filling, but that's okay. So let's try to cut this one into 3. And you can also use like dental floss, because I'm kind of mashing them, but that's okay. They're going to rise again in my oven. And I hope you can see. I'm going to pick up some of this butter. Remove the camera. You can't even see my pan. There's the pan. So I'm going to cover this, and then they have to rise another hour. But I'm going to cover them, put them in my oven. My oven's warm. I got the light on, and I'll show you before.
Here's the coconut buns. I've let them rise for about 45 minutes, and you can see the butter's kind of melted. But I'm going to turn my oven on to 375, and I'm going to let them. And I don't know if you have this problem with your rolls, but my middle sometimes comes up. Oh, this dough is really soft. So I'm just going to kind of push it down a little bit. And, they're different sizes, but that's okay. It's my first time making them. And let's see how they turn out. They're going to bake for about 35 minutes. So I'll show you the finished
Make
product.
some type of glaze here. Now, it said to use this half cup of the filling with 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. But I want to change it up a little bit. I have this it's called whipped cream cheese, and I just heated it just a tiny bit in the microwave. I'm going to put, actually, this is about, probably about 2.5 tablespoons, because the filling is so sweet, and I think the cream cheese might balance it out a little better. And then to lighten it, I'm going to add a little heavy cream, because I don't want a really thick glaze. And I also have to tell you that I tinted the rolls with aluminum foil to keep them from turning too brown. But I'm only doing it for about 10 minutes. Okay. You can use milk or water, or I thought about adding coconut cream. I didn't want to open a whole can for just a tablespoon, and I don't know how sweet it is. So we need it a little thinner, Ella, because I want it to be a drizzle. But they smell really good. That's going to be perfect, Ella. Yeah, that's good. That's spreadable. Okay, and we're going to also put the toasted coconut flakes on top, and they're unsweetened as well. We need more, actually? No, that's good. Just a tiny bit. Okay. I love to use heavy cream with my cream cheese. Just lightens it up. But they smell really good. That looks perfect. Now we have to taste it. With your finger? It's okay. How is it? Good. Is it good? Okay, so that's what we're going to do for the glaze. You can use the, I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit today. But you could use the coconut milk if you want to, but I just wanted to add just a tiny bit of cream cheese. And I think it's going to be really good.
I had to let you know, I just tasted this filling. It is really good. I'm very excited. I think it's going to be so good with the buns. So I took them out of the oven. I baked them for about 40 minutes. And they're so buttery. I just can't imagine what they're going to taste like. But it's cooked. I just picked one up to see, and it's cooked. They're very moist, though. I'm going to let them cool just a little bit before I add the glaze. So I'm going to add, I think I'm going to try to put them in another pan. I'm not sure yet. But at the end, I'm going to also add these pretty flakes, and I'm gonna let the glaze make it stick to it. It's gonna be so pretty. So I'll be back. I decided I'm gonna toast a little of this sweetened coconut. This coconut is very pretty. It just doesn't have that much flavor, so I'm gonna use both. My other coconuts toasting in the oven. I'm just gonna drizzle or spread a little bit of this while they're still warm. I think I'm gonna have to use another utensil. Maybe a spatula of some sort, I think. This drawer is so full of stuff. I'm just gonna kind of just take it and kind of just spread it on each one. Just a light coating. And then I'm gonna sprinkle the toasted coconut from the oven on top. And this glaze is not the prettiest, but it tastes really good. I don't want to cover them up completely. And I probably made extra. Let me check my coconut. Oh, I gotta take that out. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Very close call. It's borderline. It's toasted. That's for sure. You keep waiting and waiting, and then all of a sudden, the last second, it's like it's ready. You keep an eye on some things like that. This is gonna be so good and buttery. And I have a friend that loves coconut, so I'm anxious for him to try this recipe. Yeah, I'm not gonna use all this glaze, that's for sure. I don't want too much. I'll save some on the side though, in case somebody wants more. But they're still warm, so I want it to kind of melt into the roll. Now I'm just gonna sprinkle some of the toasted coconut that I made. The other coconut probably would be prettier. Actually, it would be. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that. If I can find it. What did I do with it, Ella? Like I said, these are really coconutty. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the flakes because they really look pretty. And they are crunchy. That's good, Ella. I'm going to add a sprinkling of these too. I want them to be really coconutty. It's almost like coconut chips. All right. So we're going to let these cool off just a little bit more, and we'll do a taste test. Let's try these beautiful coconut buns. It's really soft and it's kind of crispy on the top, but the dough on the inside is just super moist and soft and buttery, of course. Let's see if I can cut it. They're still pretty warm. And if you love coconut, this is a perfect recipe for you. Well, I have to say that it's delicious. The dough is delicious. I mean, it's buttery. That butter is just amazing. And you can taste the coconut, but it doesn't overtake the dough. I think this is a really nice change from cinnamon rolls, something very different. And you can just see how moist it is and buttery. So you can't eat much of this because it's probably extremely fattening and rich, but it's so good. Oh man. I really thought I would miss cinnamon, but it does have enough flavor. They're kind of subtle. But the glaze, I would definitely use the glaze I used. I think it's way better. So, I hope you give this a try. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. And it's Saturday here, so have a great weekend. See you next time. Bye.